What up, people? This is going to be the short version of my review of this movie because I want to do another version of this where I give spoilers. So I wanted to do two versions of this, and this one is the spoiler-free version. And yeah, let's get right to it. In 2003, a movie was released, and you didn't really hear much about it. It didn't have a lot of really big-time actors in it, too. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jacqueline Bisset was in it. And I think those were the only two that, like really big-name stars that, we really saw in this movie. The thing is it really wasn't received very well from what I gather, and we really didn't hear much of it. I didn't know about it. It wasn't until one day I was watching, I want to say it was either Noah's Ark or Queer as Folk on the Logo channel, and I see an advertisement they were going to premiere this movie on Logo. And it had never been shown on TV before, and yeah, I thought I have to watch this. The preview looked phenomenal, so I'm like, yep, I'm going to watch this. So I did. And this ended up becoming my favorite movie. And still to this day is my favorite movie. Out of everything I've ever seen, everything I've ever watched, this is my favorite movie. And this is the movie we're talking about. Latter Days. Like, an incredible story here. I watched it on Logo, went to Blockbuster the next day to rent it, and ended up buying it off Blockbuster because it's that friggin' good. I would recommend that you do not watch this movie on TV. If they're playing it on, don't watch it. Get the movie. Because there's so much on, even though Logo broadcast premiered it at 11 p.m. at night, they cut so much out of it that the next day when I got it on video and I went home and I put the DVD in to watch it again, I was watching it again for the first time. There was stuff in the DVD that I didn't see in the movie on TV that were driving forces of the story. Like, I mean, I understand needing to cut some parts of that out for television. I get it, because they're pretty risque parts. But they're important to the story, and so you have to kind of keep some element of that in it. And they didn't do that. And the story made much more sense when I watched the video on DVD. But small and skinny of it is, it's about Christian, who's played by Wes Ramsey, who's a very openly gay man living in California. He's a server at a restaurant called Lila's. And Lila, actually, the owner, is Jacqueline Bisset, so she's his boss. He lives with a roommate named Julie. And he's very gay and very much open about it, and he's a slut. I'm going to say he sleeps with just about anybody. Evidenced by the very beginning of the movie. Which is a very good, humorous part to it. There's a lot of really great one-liners in this. A lot of really great one-liners. I can sit here and tell you tons of them out of this movie, but you really need to sit down and watch it. And then we have Aaron, who is from Idaho, and who is a Mormon missionary. And who's doing his mission in California. And him and his Mormon buddy, because as you know, Mormons have to have a buddy at all times. Him and his Mormon buddy and two other missionaries move into an apartment in the same complex that Christian lives in. And Christian finds out they're Mormons, and he's at work. And if anybody knows me in my real life, and you've been in my house and I made you watch this, I'm sorry. I'm sure it just killed you to sit through this movie. Not really, but I'm just saying. But Andrew, the bartender, is probably one of the best characters in this movie, and he is absolutely my favorite character in this movie. I love the bartender, Andrew. But they're all at the restaurant where they work. Julie, his roommate, Christian obviously is working there, and then there's another waitress, and then there's Andrew, the bartender. And they're all sitting there and they're talking, and he's like, oh, you know those, Christian's like, oh, you know those guys that moved into Elizabeth's apartment? And they're like, yeah, and it's like, guess what they do? And they're like throwing out ideas like rodeo clowns, weird sex people, And he's like, no, they're Mormon missionaries. And all of a sudden, it's like, had he said, yeah, they're rodeo clowns, that would have been acceptable. Or had he said, yeah, they like run a sex ring or something, that would have been acceptable. But he's like, Mormon missionaries. And everybody's like, because, wow. And, Andrew, of course, has all these great stories. And he tells them throughout the movie, which is incredible. And, they start talking about these Mormon missionaries, and the other waitress, not Julie, the other waitress, and her name escapes me right now. She says, wouldn't it be great if you converted one of them instead of them converting you? And that starts it from there. So, I'm going to leave it at that, because if I go any further into that, I can tell you this, they make a bet. Him and Julie bet that he can, the other waitress and Andrew bet that he can. And it's a $100 bet, buy drinks, and do bus all the cables for like a month or something like that. Kind of really stupid, mediocre stuff, but that starts it. And I really don't give any more away, but if you like romantic comedies at all, drama, romance, comedy, this is your movie. And you don't even have to be into the, LGBT genre of movies to enjoy this. This is just a really good story. It's a really good movie. There are some parts that are a little graphic, so beware of that, but really good movie. Later on I found out that actually there was a book, and I bought the book. This book actually it follows the movie almost with T. The only thing different about the book and the movie is there's a lot more in here about Keith. And Keith becomes a very important character in the movie. But this book goes into more of Keith, and Keith happens to be one of the people that Christian meets when he volunteers for Angel Food Network to deliver food to sick people that are homebound. Keith is one of those people, and he's very sick with HIV, AIDS. I don't know if it's full-blown, I don't remember if it was full-blown AIDS yet or if it was just HIV, but it was one of the two, and he's very sick, and he's, homebound, and he becomes a major character in the movie, but he's more of a character in the book. So this gives you a little bit more of Keith. If you're, if you watch the movie and you're interested in his character, this goes into a lot more detail. But it does follow along pretty well with the movie. It's not a very long book at all. Yeah, I paid $13.95 for this book. It's that good. That movie is that fucking good. It is 232 pages, well, 231 and like a quarter page. Just awesome. Phenomenal. Please, if you are interested in the spoiler version of the review, check it out. I'll link down in the description. And check it out. Let me know what you think if you do watch it. I really want to know what people think. If you're able to get a hold of the book, definitely read it and tell me what you think. I really want to know. I think the book is great. I like the idea that it goes more into Keith than in the movie. Again, if you've watched the movie, the book follows the movie pretty close. I mean, there's some differences. There are some differences, but for the most part, it's pretty well dead on. It's honestly. Check it out. I give it 5 very enthusiastic stars, and I think everybody should watch it. So, check it out. Latter Days. It's available on Amazon. eBay, I'm sure, has it. I don't know of any other places where you might acquire it, but if I can think of them, I will definitely link. But yeah, definitely check it out. It'll be worth it.